So, hello grade 8 students. So, welcome back to our class. Again, this is your teacher, Miss Cabs. So, I will make this video for those students who were not able to join our class this afternoon because of the slow internet connections. Okay? So, natapos na namin itong i-discuss, but I will make this again. No, I will record this video again for you guys na hindi nakapag join sa or hindi naka-join sa klase natin kanina. So just like what I have said last meeting, no, and I also had a video for the last meeting's discussion. So pwede nyo lang yung i-check dun sa ibang video ko na na-upload ko na dito. Okay? So just like what I have said last meeting that we are going to learn more about nucleus and sino ba yung mga naka-discover ng mga different types of subatomic particles. Okay, so when the idea of an atom was first proposed by the ancient Greeks, they thought that it was a particle with no parts, right? So, however, towards 19th century, Sir Joseph John Thomson or Sir J.J. Thomson was able to discover that atom has negatively charged particles which he called the electrons. Diba? So, last meeting, we discussed that the subatomic particles that carries negatively charged particles or that carries negatively charged is the electron. So, si Sir J.J. Thomson pala yung nakadiscover ng electrons. Okay? And it led him to propose a new model for the atom which he called the plum pudding model. So, bakit plum pudding model? Okay, so in the Philippines, guys, medyo hindi natin kilala medyo hindi masyadong familiar yung plum pudding model or yung plum pudding. So, um, we will use the raisin bread na lang, no? Yung gamitin natin. Okay, so ito yung model ni J.J. Thomson. He proposed that negatively charged electrons were embedded in a kind of cloud or soup of positive charges. So, ganito yung mukha ng plum pudding model or the raisin bread kumbaga sa Pilipinas para mas ano pa natin, mas makilala pa natin. So, nakita nyo guys, no? So, sa raisin bread, no? Yung may mga raisins nakikita nyo. So, na-compare ni Sir J.J. Thomson yung raisin as negatively charged particles. So, yun ay ang electrons. Okay? So, dito niya dito niya nakita or dito niya inihahambing yung kanyang model of atoms. Okay? So, ayan. Okay, next. So, take note with that guys ha, si Sir J.J. Thomson yung nakadiscover ng electrons at saka siya din yung nagpropose ng tinatawag natin na plum pudding model. Okay? Next. Okay. So, by the way, guys, so baka may bago dito sa inyo, no? Sa makakapanood ng video ito. So, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the like, no, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates in our science class. Okay, so let's proceed. So, in science models, based on observations from experiments are tested further. So, sometimes by the other scientists to determine their validity. So, Ernest Rutherford, Johannes Wilhelm Geiger, and Ernest Marsden, no, they are the group of scientists tested Thomson's model by bombarding a very thin sheet of gold foil with positively charged alpha particles. So, ito yung kanilang experiment. So, by this experiment, no, tinitest nila yung model na na-propose ni J.J. Thomson. So their experiment is referred as the alpha particle scattering experiment. So Rutherford and his co-workers expected that all of the alpha particles to travel undeflected. Pag sinabi natin undeflected, meaning hindi nag-change ng direction through the atoms of gold. So they observed that most of the alpha particles did go through the gold foil undeflected. But what surprised them was that there were a few alpha particles that practically bounced back towards the source and some that were deflected, no, at smaller angles. So, doon nila nakita na hindi nila ini-expect na may magba-bounce back pa na na magba-bounce back pa na mga alpha particles. So the way the alpha particles bumped or did not bump, the particles in the atoms of the gold foiled, no, the gold foil led Rutherford's to propose another model of the atom. No? So because of this experiment, because of their experiments, no, nakakita naman sila or they propose another model of the atom. So at ano naman yung tawag sa kanilang model na ito? So in the plum pudding model, where the electrons with very small mass were scattered in a cloud of positive charge, there was no region within the atom where there would be an appreciable net concentration of charge that would cause the alpha particles to be deflected. So to account for the few deflections, yung nakita nila na may nag-change pala na may nag-change pala na direction ng mga alpha particles. So to account for this, and the rare occasions of very large deflections, Rutherford in 1911, no, suggested a different structure of the atom where all the positive charge and nearly all the mass of the structure of the atom where all the positive charge are are were concentrated in a very tiny region called the nucleus at the center of the atom. So ang tawag naman sa model na ito ay tinatawag na nuclear model. Okay? So take note with that, guys. So Ernest Rutherford discovered nucleus, and he also and his together with his team also proposed another model of the atom, which is the nuclear model of the atom. Okay, next. So the nuclear model of the atom proposed by Rutherford in 1911 is still the picture of the atom that we hold today. So observations made afterward in experiments concerning the atom support the model. So the other puzzle about the atom concerns the electrons. So try to imagine, no, again, no, the atom as 100 meters in diameter. No? The nucleus is around 1 millimeter in diameter at the center. No? And the electrons are in vast space around the nucleus. So the question is, where in this vast space are the electrons? Are they moving? How do they move? And how fast do they move? So this is one of the models of the electrons in atoms na ang na propose din is this one, the planetary model, where the electrons were thought to move in orbits around the nucleus, similar to the way planets like the Earth move around the sun. So ito yung isa sa mga na-propose din nila is ang planetary model, which is kinumpare nila yung movement ng electrons sa movement sa Earth, movement sa Earth, that move the Earth move around the sun. So yun din akala nila, yun din ang sa pag-aakala nila na yun din ang movement ng electron. So this has since been found to be incorrect. So rejected naman ini. So that is why mabalik naman kita. Balik tayo doon sa uh, na-propose ni Rutherford na nuclear model of the atom. Because this is incorrect because the behavior of electrons in the space around the nucleus is not simple to describe. So, that is why na rejected ang ganitong model. Okay, next. What we don't know, however, are the following. The electron, although it is negatively charged, does not collapse into positively charged nucleus. Second is, there is attraction between the nucleus and the electron. So, evidence of which is that energy is required to remove an electron from the atom. So, kagaya nga na sinabi natin, no, last meeting na-discuss natin na an object is electrically neutral but can carry charges. No? Just like what happened sa balloon. No? When you rub the balloon no, in the other object, so nagkakaroon or naka-acquire siya ng charges. No? Okay, so yun. So, notwithstanding the complex behavior of electrons in atoms, we continue to use a model of electronic structure or the way electrons are arranged in the atom to help us understand and study the way atoms combine to form the millions of compounds discovered to date. So far, you have learned about the three subatomic particles. We have protons, which carries positively charged ion. I mean positive charge. Electrons carries negative charge, and neutrons has no charge at all. And how they arrange in the currently accepted model of the atom. So among these subatomic particles, take note that it is the number of protons that identify the atoms of an element. Take note with that, guys. The number of protons is the one that identify the atoms of an element. All atoms of an element contain the same number of protons in their nuclei. But, yes, this number is the element's atomic number. So again, atomic number, it is the number of protons in an element. And the number of protons, amo na siya ang nag-identify no, sa isa ka atom of an element. So, in our next activity, you will refer to the periodic table in determining the atomic number and notice that no two elements have the same atomic number. So, lahat no, ng element ay magkakaiba yung kanyang atomic number. Okay? Yan. So, if you have there your periodic table, so you can also look at your periodic table. Okay. So, in this activity, you will be able to locate the atomic number in a periodic table. So, hahanapin nyo kung nasaan yung atomic number dyan. Then, you are going to identify the subatomic particles associated with mass number, determine the number of neutrons from the mass number, define isotope, interpret shorthand and shorthand notation for isotopes and atoms, infer that ions are formed from the removal or addition of electrons. Evaluate the overall electrical charges of an atom and make an inventory of subatomic particles of a given element. Okay? So, marami tayong objectives sa ngayon. Okay. So, try to answer this one, guys. So, kindly refer it to your periodic table. Question number 1. What is the element with an atomic number of 15? So, kindly look at your periodic table. What is the element with an atomic number of 15? Number 2. How many protons does the atom of this element have? Number 3, how many protons are there in an atom of aluminum? And which element has the smallest number of protons in its atom? So for question number 1, kung makikita nyo dyan sa periodic table nyo, an element with an atomic number 15 is the phosphorus. Kita nyo yan dyan. Kita nyo dyan, guys. Okay. Now, how many protons does the atom of this element have? Okay. So, of course, the number of protons is also the also the atomic number, right? So, meaning to say, for question number 2, 15 din yung sagot nyo. Number 3, how many protons are there in an atom of aluminum? So, tingnan nyo yung aluminum. Al. Okay. So, it has 13 protons. So, since atomic number ni aluminum is 13, so meaning to say, yung number of protons niya din ay 13. So, for question number 4, which element has the smallest number of protons in its atom? So, of course, kitang-kita natin na yung hydrogen, yung may pinaka maliit or smallest number of protons. So, since atomic number of hydrogen is 1. Okay? So, gets na. So, kuha na yung atomic number. Okay, so let's proceed. So, while the number of protons is the same with atoms of a particular element, the number of neutrons may vary. So, take note with that, guys, ha? The number of neutrons may change or may vary. So, atoms having the same number of protons but different number of neutrons are referred to as isotopes. Okay? So, isotopes ang tawag doon pag the same number of protons but different number of neutrons. Okay? So, an isotopes can be or are identified through their mass number. Okay? Ano naman yung mass number? Okay? So, pag sinabi nating mass number, it is the sum of the number of protons and number of neutrons in an atom. So, meaning to say, you are just going to add the number of protons and the number of neutrons to get the mass number. Okay, gets? So, yan. So, a shorthand notation for isotope includes the element symbol and mass number. So, for example, we have calcium 40. So, makikita natin dyan na calcium, ang Ca is the element symbol, at saka yung 40 is the mass number. Okay? So, meaning to say, yung 40 dito is the sum of the number of protons and the number of neutrons in calcium. Okay, kuha na. So, this is the first shorthand notation of an isotope. Calcium 40 example. Okay, so let's try this one. Okay, so we have element symbol C, and this is carbon, right? Okay, so question, how many are there in the carbon 12 isotope? How many protons are there in the carbon 12 isotope? And how many neutrons are there in this isotope? And question number 6. How many protons are there in the carbon 13 isotope? And how many neutrons are there in carbon 13 isotope? Okay. So for the question number 5, how many protons are there in the carbon 12 isotope? So tingnan nyo lang yung periodic table nyo, guys. Okay. So, how many protons? So, ano ba yung atomic number ng carbon? Okay, very good. So, 6, right? So, meaning, 6 din yung number of protons ni carbon. Ni carbon 12. How about, or how many neutrons naman yung nasa carbon 12? So, simple lang yan, guys. Diba sabi natin kanina na ang mass number mass number is the sum of the number of protons and the number of neutrons. So, since may 12 yung mass number ni carbon dito, so at nakita natin na 6 yung protons niya, so therefore, 12 minus 6 is 6. Tapos kung i-add natin 6 plus 6, that will be equal to 12. So meaning 6 protons, there are 6 protons and there are 6 neutrons in the carbon 12 isotope. And how about here in the carbon 13 isotope? So alam natin na yung carbon ay may 6 protons. So therefore, 13 minus 6, para makuha natin yung neutrons, no? 13 minus 6 is 7. So, therefore, 7 yung neutron niya. Okay? So, therefore, no, 6 plus 7 is equals to 13. And that is the mass number of the C13 isotope. Okay? Claro? Gets na? Okay, very good. So, now let's proceed. Atomic mass is the mass of an atom of a particular element. No? It is the average of the mass numbers of the naturally occurring isotopes of the element multiplied with their respective abundance. So you will not compute the atomic mass, guys. You will not compute for the atomic mass because you are just going to know, you have to know at least where to find it in your periodic table. So again, get your periodic table. Kindly look at it and answer this question. What is the atomic mass of magnesium, or the Mg? Mg. And how about for potassium, or K? So, okay? So, nakita nyo? So, the atomic mass of the magnesium is 24.035. And for the potassium is 39.098. Okay? So, you know how to locate the atomic mass of an element? Okay, very good. So, now let's proceed. Another shorthand notation for isotopes, guys, is this one. Try to look at your screen. So, in this shorthand notation, information on the subatomic particles may be derived from this shorthand. The base is the element symbol. Okay. So, kanina, sa first na notation natin is makikita lang natin yung element symbol at saka yung mass number. So, dito, marami na yung makikita na numbers. So we have here the element symbol. Then, the left subscript denotes the atomic number. So, therefore, this is the number of protons may be known. So, makikita mo dito or dito mo malalaman yung number of protons niya. Okay? Atomic number is equal to the number of protons of an element, right? So, the superscript at the left denotes the mass number. Okay, so yung sa taas naman ay ang mass number, wherein the number of neutrons may be derived. No? And on the other hand, the superscript at the right denotes the charge, wherein the number of electrons may be determined. So, pag walang subscript, meaning to say, the charge is 0. Take note. So, meaning to say, plus 1, meaning may na lose siya or na gain sang electron. Pag merong plus 1, kung nakikita nyo din, guys. Kasi sometimes you can see in an element symbol, makikita mo dyan na may negative 1 at saka may plus 1. So meaning to say, either naka-gain or naka-lose siya sang electrons. Pero pag nakita nyo dito na wala siyang subscript, no, sa right side, no, sang element symbol, meaning to say the charge is 0. Okay? Proceed. So atoms may gain charges. So as you have experienced in our activity 1, no, like the balloon. So when you rub the balloon in a cloth, no, electrically neutral pa siya, pero pag during some time na rub mo siya sa cloth, so may na-acquire siya na charges. So this happens when electrons are lost or gained by the atom. So when this happens, the atom become an ion. So try to consider this lithium ion. So since na plus 1 yung charge niya, meaning may charge na na-acquire. Okay? So try to take a look at this one. How many protons are there in the lithium ion? How many neutrons are there in this lithium ion? And how many electrons are in this lithium ion? Okay. So try to take a look at this. Okay. So kung makikita natin guys, the number of protons in this lithium ion is 3. Okay? Kasi yung atomic number niya is 3. How many neutrons are there in this lithium ion? So since we have a mass number of 7, so we are just going to minus lang, subtract lang, no? 4. 7 minus 3 is equals to 4. So therefore, 4 yung neutrons niya. Okay? And how many electrons are there in this lithium ion? Ilan ba yung electrons niya? Okay, so how many electrons are this in this lithium ion? Pen muna natin. Okay, so since we have 3 protons and 4 neutrons, and we have this one, no? May charge siya. So, plus 1. So, meaning, lagyan natin dito. Proton is equals to 3. Okay. And then, yung neutron niya equals 4. And then, yung electron niya is equals to protons 3 minus 1. So, since plus 1, so meaning to say, nag-lose siya ng isang electron. So, 3 minus 1 is equals to 2. So, meaning there are 2 electrons in this lithium ion. Okay, so this time guys, it's your time or it's your turn to answer this activity. Okay, so we have here 25. Here is 26, number 26. There is number 27. So lahat ng mga naka-red na numbers, yun ay yung hahanapin nyo yung tamang sagot. So we have here isotope, element name, number of protons, number of electrons, number of neutrons, and its charges. Okay? So I will give you time. So ang ginawa ko dito is screenshot nyo yung activity na to, and then your answer could be attached in our Google Classroom. Okay? So, yun lang guys. So, 27 item test. By the way, after nyo makuha yung tamang sagot, another one is you are going to write the shorthand notation. Another shorthand notation of this isotope showing the mass number and the atomic number of these isotopes. Okay? So, yun lang guys. So, kindly screenshot lang. So, by the way, hindi na makita dito sa S32 and K35. Ang yung charge niya is 0, yung sa S32. And sa K35, yung charge niya is plus 1. Okay, so yun guys na in the next module, you will learn more about the atomic structure in relation to your periodic table or to the periodic table. And you will notice that a pattern emerges from the way the atoms are arranged in the table. So hopefully this module sparked your interest and you are excited to know more about the atom. Okay, so if you have some questions or clarifications, do not forget to write it in our comment box or you can directly message me through Messenger. Okay, so that's all for this lesson guys. So I hope na may nakuha kayo at may natutunan kayo sa lesson natin ngayon. Okay, so thank you for listening. Um, keep safe and God bless everyone. Bye.